Your vampire prosthetics were amazing. How extensive were they? Just a really, you guys got a really cheap way to do gelatin, but awesome.
How extensive were the vampire prosthetics?
Thank you. That was, I believe it's foam latex, and that's Brian Spears, another glass-eye magic weapon, and he actually also plays the nun at the beginning, the Sister Agatha, and he also plays the Santa vampire. And he's, you know, we had some that were really complex. I think the one on himself was complex, and I think he wanted to have fun doing it. So we had anywhere from, he has a full-on chest plate with sagging, bitten breasts, and he has tons of stuff going on there. In fact, we first hired him, and I kept waiting to get sketches of vampire faces and nothing came, and nothing came, and nothing came, and finally he sends a picture, and it's just him modeling one breast. That's all he had done for 3 months, he was working on his own breasts. And, but there were some that were, you know, full 4 or 5 hours, and how long were you on? You were very quick, actually, because they were simple. Yes. So it was very, we scaled it along the way, and with Michael it was so fun because that part kind of got adapted in the second half, and he was so fun and such a badass bad guy in the first half that we wanted to really build it in the second half, but also just give him some teeth and let him bite into every word and have fun with it. He gave me that before the show.
In the red back there, yes.
Okay, so if, since everyone is going north because vampires don't thrive in cold and sparsely populated areas, why was Canada evacuated to keep the peace? Was our population sort of liquidated so America could resettle there? What was going on with that?
I think he said I was here to evacuate to Canada. He wasn't referring to evacuating Canada. America's always run to Canada. Canadians don't run to America.
Yes.
I just want to ask about kind of your action setups. You guys basically developed a martial art based around staking. Like, who did you use as your stunt coordinator, and like who actually laid that stuff out?
Well, there was always Nick. We had a great stunt coordinator, Tony Vincent, who helped us out for maybe 3 or 4 days. Like on the big stuff, he came in and helped out a lot of that stuff. The rest of it was really Nick and Connor, and they hung out. Nick and Connor trained together for weeks beforehand and kind of had a lot of stuff mapped out ahead of time. The barn scene, for instance, that was the first one. We had Tony in there. We took 2 days to make sure that we got that scene right and made sure that it was laid down and confident, and then from there we just kind of adapted to each one. And the one with Sister Agatha was a little bit sloppier intentionally, and a lot of the ones where it's human on human violence, the Brotherhood after they have Kelly in the road, that one was all meant to look a little sloppier and a little more real life. But the rest of it really came from watching these guys work, and all those beautiful shots of them in the fields, and you know that was what they did every morning. So we just come out with the camera and try to get the best angles.
So can you now impress your peers with your flying vampire staking moves?
As much as you ever could.
Yes?
I just wanted to have, it's more of a comment than a question, but I love the score to the movie. It just absolutely...
Stand up, Jeff. Where's Jeff? Stand up, take him out.
Jeff also, really quickly, also did Meek's Cutoff, the Kelly Reichardt film.
Was your input as a director something that you were looking for, or was it just delivered?
Yes, it was strongly inspired by a few scores, all of which all trace back to Days of Heaven in some way, which is the first place that usually look when making a vampire film. Yeah, so we based a lot of stuff off of that and off the different sounds in there, and also using an Americana vibe for a horror film. We really wanted to change it up and not just have it be an abrasive electronic sort of thing, and keep it aging as the film goes backwards too. That's one thing Nick talks a lot about, is that the story really is them going back in time through civil rights to Western pioneer days, and so the music kind of also follows that along the way. Yes?
I wanted to ask Danielle Harris if that was a prosthetic, your pregnant prosthetic that you were wearing.
Or what else would it be?
That's why we're going to take off 3 months.
It was well, Liz is here, she made it. It was a foam piece that was like, we would cut with scissors when it would look too big, but I think I was just eating on in character, getting a little fatter as we kept shooting, so it was, yeah, it was just a foam belly.
Let's improve the next question. Come on, I brag how smart you guys are. Come on. Yes, in the back.
Can you comment a little bit about your casting, and the cast comment on how you chose this movie?
Yes, I am unbelievably proud of this cast, and it was not an easy movie to cast because, like I said, we did the 2 shoots, so we were really paying next to nothing, and we were asking to book your summer and your winter, and it was going to be very physical. There was no dialogue. It wasn't a lot to tell from the script about each thing, and yeah, right off the bat, I mean, Mr. was Nick, or Nick was Mr. Freudian slip, and if it wasn't, then there really kind of wasn't any movie. Connor I met with, and to be honest, at first, he was on Gossip Girl, and I thought, I don't want to do that horror movie trend and cast the good-looking kid from the CW show. And thankfully, I followed that trend because he's amazing, and he knew this role backwards and forwards, and he makes it. Sean gave one of the best young performances ever on film. It's called Fresh. That blew me away, and we met and we seemed to click, and Danielle I grew up watching on Roseanne and falling in love with her when I was about 12. And then we went through, actually we did a Fangoria radio show, and at the time we were still up in the air about who we were going to cast, and I think you called in from Halloween 2, maybe? And while we were on the call, I was like, wait a minute, this makes sense. And luckily, she took it. And Michael is the king of stage, the king of this stage, we just talked about it. I'd never actually seen any of his stage stuff. I've seen actually The Mexican, I think, which is not a very similar role at all, was what I had last seen him in. But he came in for a meeting, and it was just great because we kept meeting all these guys who always play rednecks and white trash guys, and they're always kind of the same. They always come in with a beard and like a flannel shirt to try to look like they know the part and stuff. And then Michael came in and he was so still and so Buddha in a way that that it was kind of like, this is so not what I was expecting, but that's kind of what makes it right in so many ways. And he has such a great quiet authority without really having to yell and jump up and down. Though we made him do that at the end. And so it was very fun. It was like this little ragtag group that kind of formed along the way. And Kelly, we were already a couple days into shooting, and that was a really tough role to cast because that first scene, I think most actresses that got the script and have that scene in there, which is even more graphic, I think, in early drafts, they immediately didn't return calls or anything. And then we were 3 days into shooting, and at some point it was, if we didn't have that part cast, there was really no point in continuing, which scared me about having to shut down the shoot and come back. And so she showed up on a list, a very short list, and I remember Larry going, yes, 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 and I thought, there's no way Kelly McGillis is going to say, yeah, I haven't done a movie in 10 years, but I'm going to come back and play a non-low-budget vampire. And then we got the call that she said yes. And yeah, she lived like a half an hour away, and I had written this beautiful letter to her saying, you know, we live right down the road, I grew up here, she used to bowl at the same bowling alley I went to in high school, and I sent this lovely letter to her, and then she said yes. I thought, oh, the letter did it. And then I finally asked her, I'm like, so you must have read the letter? She's like, what letter? Yes, and then Larry is Larry. Yes.
Was there, I'm guessing when you say summer and winter, you're talking last one. Was there like a time in February when
It came out, I want to say it came out during the first shoot that we had, and I didn't see it until it came out on video. I kind of intentionally waited because I knew it had a similar concept and all that. Yeah, there's a little bit of a sense of, oh crap, but I think, you know, one shot into the movie, you're like, wow, these are two completely different movies in so many other different ways. And I think at some point you say, you know, I'm proud of this film, I'm proud of what it is, and at some point, you know, there's a question, should we change the name? And in a way that was almost conceding that you know, we felt like we were riding the coattails of something. So I think we're happy with the film and proud of the film. The Road is another film also that, you know, was obviously a similar film. I remember seeing that the day after we wrapped, thinking, oh man, this is going to be identical. And then 10 minutes in, after I was looking at my watch, this is nothing like her. Thank you.
As we're trying to describe Stake Land, people like, it's like The Road, but with vampires and just a little bit more hope. All right, we have time for one last question here. Let's make it a good one.
No pressure.
I really appreciate, this is a comment and a little question, but I really appreciated the way that you dribbled the backstory, and you didn't give us a lot of information all at one time, because so many times we get the deluge and then it's overload. But roughly, how long did it take from, you know, conception to delivery, the entire project?
Looking at my email, I think I had something from you originally in the summer, like 2008, I want to say, and it went along. I originally started, we were going to do webisodes, and that was the idea, and then Larry came along, once he came on board, it was going to be a feature, there was some condensing there, so I want to say it was about summer of 2008, and then we finished last Wednesday night and then flew up with it on Thursday morning. Very last minute.
All right, let's hear it for the cast. And remember to vote. And hope to see you back for Fire Conscious tomorrow night. And check out the Midnight Madness blog on Blogger for behind the scenes reports and interviews, and we will see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much.